Last time on the Fireside Tales, Timothy Turtle found himself the sole survivor of an attack by seagulls on the beach. He managed to escape and found an inn, where Hare agreed to help him find his mother, who Timothy believed still loved him. They journeyed across the ocean, and the hare ended up being captured by a bunch of other hares. However, Timothy was once again able to escape. He found a reef where he found his mother actually, but she didn't seem to love him. However, a dolphin informed him that the only reason this was because King Neptune had made it impossible for turtles to feel love. And now, the next chapter, in this incredible story. Timothy had never seen so many callers before. He had never seen so many creatures that would swim along, fish everywhere he looked, and crabs scuttling across the ground, and this giant big fish that he just couldn't imagine how something that big of size could even exist. And as he swam, he finally arrived at the castle, and it was a huge thing, and standing at the front, guarding the place, was two mermaids. The name actually occurred to him just the moment that he saw them. He knew exactly what they were. And as he swam up to them, one of them said, "Halt! We are the guards here of this temple, and nobody is allowed to come in without Neptune's permission." And Timothy said, "Oh, but I must speak to him. It is an urgent matter." And the guard said, "Well, I'm sorry I cannot allow it. Not unless you get his permission, or, well, he has been rather stressed lately. If you could give him some sort of entertainment, something that he could watch, we would be willing to let you in." Timothy Turtle thought about this, and he thought about what he might be good at. And then he remembered the crab scuttling across the sand. And so he stood up on his two legs and said, well? And as he whistled, he began to do a little tap dance. And he continued to whistle and tap dance, and the mermaid seemed very much impressed. And when he was finished, the mermaid said, "My God, that was beautiful. Yes, you are allowed to enter. But remember, whatever business you have, you save it until after the dance." Timothy said, "Oh, yes, sir, I will. And he swam in. And when he came into the room, it was quite a beautiful place. King Neptune clearly had quite a lot of, well, quite a lot of everything. There was gold there and doubloons, and the table was filled with food of all sorts, meat and fruit, and as Timothy swam up, he saw that King Neptune was a rather grizzled old creature. He had a long beard, and he wasn't a mermaid, he was actually a nymph, so he was quite human in appearance. And standing beside him was his three daughters, who were all arguing with him because they wanted to go up to the outside world. And as Timothy swam up, Neptune welcomed the interruption. "Little creature, what business do you have, daughters? I have to speak to this creature here." And Timothy said, "I came of an urgent matter, but I suppose first I shall provide you entertainment." And the mermaid said, his nymph daughters said, "Oh, yes, we really must watch, father. It's been so long since we'd had anything fun around here." And Timothy, he began to do his tap dance, and he began to whistle, and they all watched in amazement at this beautiful sight, and when he was finished, they all clapped. "Oh, bravo," said Neptune. "Sir, if you don't mind, I also have business with you." And Neptune said, "Well, all right, go ahead and speak." And Timothy said, "Well, you see, sir, I wish that my mother could love me, and that all turtles could feel love. I myself must be some kind of contradiction to this rule, because I feel like I love quite a lot of things. And if you could let other creatures feel love, well, it would be quite kind of you, sir." And Neptune said, "Absolutely not! It was decreed by me to the man in black that turtles should not feel love because they do not have the brains compatible for such things. They do not have the necessary chemicals. And that is my final say on this matter. I've had this debate with other creatures just like you, Timothy, and I am a faithful follower of him." Timothy said, "But there's all sorts of things in the cosmos that don't make sense. Why, look at you creatures. You don't make any sense, but the man in black doesn't destroy you." And Neptune said, "No, that is not true. Although I know creatures like us look absurd, I assure you there is a scientific explanation. Is that sometimes science so approaches magic that the two become indistinguishable." As he said this, Timothy noticed that he almost said it to comfort himself, but he decided to ignore that and say, "But, sir, if you'll just hear me out. You see, I'm sure that all these rules are very important for everything, and I'm sure they are very good rules. But the truth is that sometimes in life you have to break the rules for the ones that you love, and no good existence can exist unless it has a mind to be able to distinguish what is right and what is wrong. And while some wrong must be done for greater good, it should always be made that good will triumph over evil in the end, that the good will shine forth against all darkness. And if the formulas will not allow that, then the universe will fall to chaos, it will fall to evil. My friend, please break the rule, because each creature deserves to feel love. And think of all that I am asking for. I'm not asking that the world change or that life change. I'm just asking that one of the most beautiful feelings that ever existed in this universe could be felt by us just towards the end. As our lives come to an end, we could feel love." And Neptune said, "Yes, but, well, you do not understand what you are asking. It might sound like a simple thing for a creature like you to feel love, but it would be quite dangerous to the whole cosmos." But it would only be towards our last moments, sir," said Timothy. "Just the last moments we would feel love. That's all I'm asking for." But Neptune was sullen about it. But as he stood there, he saw a bright flame appear before him, and a creature came out of it. "I have been listening in, Neptune." And they all turned to see an angel standing there with bright blonde hair. "Neptune, you have made this rule far too long than you should. I know that you are a follower of the man in black, but this creature is right. There is no harm in this thing feeling love." "But it wouldn't make any sense," said Neptune. "And so it shall not," said the angel. "But you will grant this creature what he asks. We will find a way around it. We will work through it. It will be all right. But I would better be on the side of good than be on the side of reason." Neptune looked at her for a moment, and he realized that she was right. "Oh, very well. But I expect protection. I've done the man in black many services in the past, but he's very strict about his rules. He will not like this." But anyways, Neptune pulled out his sword, the fourth sword, in fact, and he waved it up in the air, and at that moment, through the windows came a whole swarm of turtles. And Timothy saw his own mother, and she came swimming towards him, and he swam up to her. "Mother, mother!" And he came up to her, and he gently tapped his head against hers, and he said, "Mother, I feel so sorry for all of this. I had to come so far." And the mother said, "Oh, it is all right, Timothy. You see, even back then, even when all of life was against me feeling love for you, I did, somehow, some way." And Timothy began to cry, and all of the turtles were all around. And Timothy soon learned that one of his brothers, actually, Michael, had survived. And so he began to chow around with him. And Neptune invited them all to a great dinner, and they had a great banquet, and everyone was there, including the angel, and they all sat and they ate, and they enjoyed themselves. And after they were finished, Timothy decided that he would have to swim back up to meet his friend, because he wanted to make sure that his friend knew that he was all right. So his mother and Michael agreed to accompany him, and they made it to the shore, and Timothy said goodbye. And as he lumbered towards the hare, he found that the hare was already standing there. And the hare was laughing, and Timothy said, "You're all right," he said. "Oh, sure I am. These hares here, they fell for it quicker than you could think. Of course, they did end up finding about my wooden leg, but by that time I had explained a little bit of diplomacy that's going to make this shore one of the greatest spots in the entire universe." And Timothy said, "Well, what do you mean?" "I mean," said the hare, "that we are now selling, distributing. There's quite a lot of coconuts here and plenty of stuff for people to eat, and I'm hoping that our place will be known throughout the world." Well, anyways, Timothy said, "Well, I just wanted to thank you so much, Trevor. You've been a great friend to me." And Trevor said, "And you've been a great friend to me. Come on, my old pal, let's go to the castle. We'll get something to eat." Anyways, after that, quite a lot began to happen. Timothy the Turtle didn't just become the most important, turtle in that area. He became a most important turtle everywhere in the Fireside Tales. In fact, I will confess, one of my dreams was always to meet this turtle and hare. Sadly enough, it's never happened. They're very busy talking peace. Timothy the Turtle is actually one of the leading members against talking animal against talking animal violence, and has done a lot of good in this world. In fact, you're more likely that creatures out there are going to know about Timothy Turtle than they are Donald Trump or Barack Obama or anybody like that. It's the way it is in this world. We all become very insignificant compared to such simple little things, especially love. As always, sweet dreams and